My name is Jacqueline Pittman, and as you can see, there are some initials behind my name. The MSW stands for Masters of Social Work, and for quite some time, I was a licensed psychotherapist, licensed mental health counselor, licensed by the state of Pennsylvania, and I practiced on and off part-time for about 20 years. During that time, a little bit of what Dr. Lori said, I became disillusioned. It was the medical model, the insurance companies told you how many sessions you could have with people, and I found that the sessions were just really, frankly, not that effective. Traditional psychotherapy can take a very, very long time to get any kind of results or relief for the client. So I started to search around for modalities that would be more effective for my clients and in a much shorter time period. What I started to read about was hypnotherapy. And what I read about hypnotherapy was very, very interesting, and it was coming out of the biggest universities and research hospitals, the most prestigious ones in the whole country. Most of the information was written by doctors of medicine, MDs. So as I began looking into hypnotherapy, I became educated on it and I became very excited, and I decided a couple of years ago to study hypnotherapy. So that's what we're doing here today. We're going to talk about what exactly is hypnosis, and what can hypnosis do for me? What can it do for each one of you? Healthier choices, quit smoking and weight loss, motivation and self-esteem, stress relief, pain management, improved relationships, healing of traumas, life mastery skills. This is just a very small grouping of what hypnosis can help people with. So let me ask the audience here. Who here has been hypnotized before?
They've tried to, but they weren't successful with me.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? Who did you go to see?
It was just one of these, it was like one of these shows or something where they call you up.
Okay.
So maybe that doesn't count.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll
people up there and they hypnotize you.
Yep. Like a stage hypnosis show kind of thing?
So that.
Okay.
I've actually done it twice and it has not worked.
Okay. Well, did he call you up or did you volunteer?
I volunteered, yeah, because I wanted
You volunteered,
yeah. 'Cause I wanted to.
Okay. All right. Well, we are going to get into stage hypnosis a little bit later, and we will talk about that.
It worked for me. I mean, I know that
Did you go to see a hypnotherapist or was it a show?
a hypnotherapist.
Okay, great. Wonderful. And it did help you?
Yes.
Wonderful. I'm really glad that you shared that with us. Thanks. Well, one of the things that I wanted to say was, those of you who think you have never been hypnotized. Sir, have you ever been hypnotized before? Well, I'm here to tell you that you have been.
Oh, okay.
How about you, ma'am? Have you ever been hypnotized?
No, not that I know of, except my husband was for smoking.
And it helped him?
It helped him, except then it didn't help him forever.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that also. But I am here to tell you, you've been in the state of hypnosis as well. How do I know that? How many of us go to sleep every night? I think all of us can say yes to that. How many of us pray? We all pray. How many meditate? Take a yoga class. How about doing something like this fellow with the earphones? Nice, relaxing, listening to music, getting lost in a book. Or the biggie, highway hypnosis. How many of us have ever been driving down the road not fallen asleep, but we're driving down the road and we think, gee, did I return that person's phone call? Or we're driving down the road, what am I cooking for dinner tonight? Let's see. Or did I get that report ready for work? And the next thing you know, we passed the road we were supposed to turn on, right? How many of us have done that?
Every day.
You were in the state of hypnosis. How about any of us find ourselves at a lecture, hopefully not this one, or in church, and all of a sudden again, our mind starts to wander. We're looking out the window, we're thinking, geez, I've got to go home and pull weeds this afternoon, or I've got to do this or run that errand. The next thing, everybody in the audience is laughing, and we go, oh, what's everybody laughing about, right? We were daydreaming. Every one of these normal human activities that we all do, we're all in some form of the state of hypnosis. How do we know that? Well, the scientists have come up with 4 human brainwave patterns. There's the beta pattern. That's our normal waking state. That's when we're alert, we're thinking, we're working, we're cooking a meal, we're talking to people. Hopefully the state we're all in right now. Then there's the alpha state. That's the normal resting state. That's like when you have dinner. Afterwards, you open the newspaper, you sit down, you read the newspaper, you're watching the news. You're in just a nice, relaxed state. This is the state we're in when we're in light prayer and light stages of meditation. The theta state. Now, this is the state that we're going to be talking about today most. This is the state we're in when we're sleeping with REM sleep, the sleep where we have the dreams, when we're in deep relaxation, when we're fervently praying. We know someone who's in the hospital or who's been in an accident, and we pray fervently for them. The human brainwave pattern that we enter into is the theta state. Guided meditation, guided imagery. This all takes place in this state, and the key to this state is that our subconscious mind becomes open, completely open. When that happens, the subconscious mind is the seat of creativity and inspiration, and it's the state of hypnosis. The 4th brainwave pattern is the delta state. We're not too concerned with that because that is the state of deep, dreamless sleep. Science can put electrodes on our scalps and measure those 4 states. So we know that they're a fact. In addition to that, scientists can also see and measure the state of hypnosis, because when we're in the state of hypnosis, we have a reddening of the sclera. The sclera is the white parts of our eyes. We have increased lacrimation. That means our eyes tear and water a lot. We develop a reddening of the face, the neck, and the chest. And we also experience a lowering of body temperature by several degrees, which is why if you come and see me in my office, I cover you up in a nice, warm, soft, fuzzy blanket. So, I did mention that in the theta state, in the state of hypnosis, our subconscious mind is wide open. So what is the subconscious mind? It's the seat of all of our memories, all of our emotions, and it is actually the seat of where our behaviors come from. The subconscious mind can be opened in several ways. First of all, by entering the theta state, by being in deep relaxation, deep prayer and meditation, pre-sleep, that wonderful feeling that we're very heavy and relaxed right before we drift off, or natural awakening. Still, when we just wake up, when we don't have to wake up to an alarm clock. And the last way that we can open our subconscious mind is in cases of intense emotion. If we're extremely emotional and crying, the subconscious mind opens at that time too. Now, I believe, and we here at Balance for Wellness believe, that the subconscious is a direct connection to the divine. A lot of people talk about Henry Ford, Thomas Alva Edison, Walt Whitman. Many of our greatest writers and inventors have talked about getting their inspiration and their creativity in their sleep. Haven't we all heard the old saying, if you have a problem, you're trying to think of a way out of something or trying to fix something, sleep on it, right? We always hear that. That's because our subconscious opens. That's where our creativity and our inspiration comes from. So, this is all well and good. What does it mean? What actually is hypnosis? Hypnosis is a natural, yet it is an altered state, which every one of us enter into numerous times a day. It's characterized by deep relaxation, and here's some new learning, I hope. It's accompanied by heightened awareness. Most people have the idea that when you're in hypnosis, you're zonked out, right? No, we have heightened awareness. The conscious mind and the critical factor part of our mind are moved aside, and the subconscious is open, and we have access to and communication with the subconscious mind. Now, what the critical factor is in our conscious mind, it's that part of our mind that says, I don't like this situation. Or, hey, I don't feel very comfortable. Or, I don't like what I'm hearing. It's that critical part of our conscious mind. And when we're in hypnosis, our conscious mind is still intact and our critical factor is still active. They're just moved to the side. So, how does hypnosis work? While we're in the theta state, the brain releases certain chemicals called catecholamines. These catecholamines support learning, they support memory, and to make a long story short, they kind of make the new learning and memory stick. These brain chemicals, in combination with direct communication with the subconscious mind, plus repetition of what we already know, becomes deeply ingrained, and that effectively changes behavior. Now, the reason I have what we already know in quotation marks is because if anybody here has ever tried to quit smoking, you probably know everything that there is to know about the dangers of smoking. You just can't get yourself to do it, to quit. Or people who struggle with weight loss. We know what to do. We know not to eat a piece of cake instead of a piece of fruit. If you come to see me for any of these issues, am I going to tell you something brand new to get you to quit smoking that you've never heard before? No. Am I going to be able to give you a diet that's a brand new diet that you've never heard of before? No. But when I tell you what you already know about good health, eating properly, exercising, and it's combined with the direct communication with your subconscious mind and the brain chemicals, the catecholamines supporting this learning. It really sticks and it really causes effective changes in behavior. Another way that hypnosis works very effectively is by the hypnotic suggestions, positive ones, can replace our old negative tapes from our childhood. Who were our first hypnotic programmers? Can anybody guess? Our first hypnotic programmers were our parents. Does this sound familiar? And I've done it too. I'm a parent. No, nothing out of you back there, Missy. Remember when I said our subconscious mind is open when we are emotional? Let's just say a mom or a dad says, okay, you two little kids, quit horsing around, you're going to break something. The next thing you know, of course, being kids, they don't quit horsing around and they break something. They know they're in trouble. They start crying. Oh, we're in big trouble now. Parent runs in and says, can't you kids do anything right? What's the matter with you? Or you come home and you're crying, you got an F on a test, and you're scared to go home, and you go in the house and you're crying. That subconscious mind's open. Catecholamines are rolling around in there. What does mom and dad say? You're never going to amount to anything.
You're grounded.
You're grounded. What's going to become of you? You're hopeless. Haven't we all heard this? You be quiet. Haven't we all heard this? They were programming us. And so many of us grow up and we don't go for that job that we know we should go for because I don't deserve it. I'm never going to be anything. Or I'm in a bad relationship, but I'm stuck because I don't deserve anymore. Or I'm not going to go and get an advanced degree in college because I'm too stupid. We carry a lot of this programming into adulthood, and it holds our lives back, doesn't it? And it interferes with our relationships. The good news is hypnosis, hypnotherapy, can replace these old negative tapes that we play in our mind with the truth, with fresh new tapes. You can do it. You are good enough. You are worthy. And it does effectively change behavior. Another thing hypnosis can do is access deep, hidden, or forgotten memories. When we can access these memories, I do a 23-step protocol that will actually let us take a look at the memories. You don't even necessarily have to go through the pain of reliving them again, like traditional psychotherapy makes you do. We can watch it like it's on a movie screen. Go through these 23 steps and come out to healing. So, anybody wondering what hypnosis feels like? It's similar to when you're daydreaming or drifting off or awakening from sleep without an alarm clock, and it's very calming and it's relaxing, but yet you're completely aware of everything around you. If anyone cares to do this, I'd like to do a little exercise right now. I'm not going to hypnotize anybody right now. What I would like to do is, if you care to join me, put your feet flat on the floor. Put your hands in your laps. We're going to take a nice deep inhale through the nose, all the way into the diaphragm, and exhale. Close your eyes. Now we're just going to imagine, sense, and feel. It's a day off. No alarm clock. And you're just waking up and you are comfy and cozy in your bed. You can feel your face nestled into your pillow and your covers wrapped up around you. And you start coming awake. And you say to yourself, oh, this is so nice. I don't have to be anywhere today. I don't have to do anything. And you just feel that heaviness as you lie in your bed in that comfort. You may open your eye and take a look at the alarm clock. So you're awake and you're conscious. Just feel that nice, heavy feeling. Okay, everybody can open their eyes now. That's just basically what hypnosis feels like, correct? Nice, relaxing feeling, okay? So any of you who have been hypnotized before know it's a very pleasant feeling. Who is this guy? This is what we normally, and I did also, think of hypnosis before I studied it. We think that this is the guy who's going to do something to us and he's going to be in control. That's not the case at all, is it? No, that's right. That's right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the misconceptions. How about some of you telling me what some of the fears might be to being hypnotized? Anybody have any ideas? What are your fears?
I know that what you want us to say is you're afraid that they'll make you do something that you shouldn't.
Exactly. That is one. That's the number one fear. Anybody else?
That you won't get the result.
You won't get a result. That's waste of money. That's very good. That's a fear that you have if you are going to go see a hypnotherapist. Okay. Okay, that's a very good point too. Some of the other ones are people are afraid of being out of control. That your mind is under the control of a hypnotist. That you're unaware of what's happening to you. That you're going to be made to say or do something embarrassing. Or that you're going to be taken advantage of by a hypnotist. Or that you're going to end up telling your deepest, darkest secrets. Or you're going to be forced to do things you wouldn't ordinarily do. Or forced to face painful or fearful memories. Or that it's sinful or against one's religion. The truth of the matter is none of these things can happen, correct? Under hypnosis. However, out of these 9 points, 5 of them can and do happen under sedation and anesthetic. Right now, in Pennsylvania, there are quite a number of doctors and dentists in prison for taking advantage of clients under sedation where you're totally out of control. You are totally under the physician's control. You are totally unaware of what's happening to you, and people have been taken advantage of. Truth about hypnosis: can't be hypnotized against your will. Can't be forced to do anything against your moral code. You're always aware of what's going on. You're always in control of yourself. You are always conscious. And you can come out of hypnosis anytime you want to. So, big question: how do stage hypnotists get people to do foolish things? First point normally is they ask for volunteers because they know They cannot hypnotize somebody against their will. Volunteers are well aware of what they're getting into. If I asked you to stand up here, you probably wouldn't want to, right? You don't want to come up here and be made to look foolish. I would never be able to hypnotize you. Stage hypnotists couldn't do it either. They're looking for that person that we all know. Don't we all have a friend? The first person at a party who's got the lampshade on his head and is doing the funny dance, the life of the party, probably his class clown in every school he ever went to. That's who the hypnotist is looking for. He's looking for that person to volunteer before they ever even were hypnotized. That way he knows Mr. or Mrs. Life of the party is going to come up there. They want to be hypnotized. They're going to go along with everything he says. They're going to put on a real good show.
So is that a different, is stage hypnotist a true category?
Yeah, it is.
So there's different types of hypnosis.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're going to go over a list of types that are most common, like is that a common thing, stage hypnosis?
If you study it, yes it is. And what they are doing up there is very true. And it is what is happening. The people are being hypnotized to quack like a duck and things like that. What I do is I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I am certified by a national organization that makes absolutely certain that I stay up with everything that's new in hypnosis. I have to take so many classes every year. That I am clinical. I work directly with my clients, and that I adhere to their very high standards. That I am not doing stage hypnosis and out making fools of people and making a joke out of this profession, which I have learned and spent a great deal of time learning in order to heal people. So there are places where you could take a weekend course in hypnosis and go and do stage hypnosis. Now, I'm up here telling you how safe hypnosis is. How do we know this? One of the ways is because the US government and Russia and a number of other countries spent 30 years and millions of dollars studying hypnosis. They tried to get prisoners to tell state secrets. They tried to train assassins, burglars, and spies. One true story. In the late 1950s, the United States government actually captured a couple of Fidel Castro's right-hand men, brought them here, and tried to hypnotize them so that they would release them and they'd go back to Fidel Castro, right? And spy on him and report to the US. Steal his plans and his military secrets and report to us. The United States doesn't do assassinations anymore, but they tried to get somebody to assassinate him. Didn't work. After 30 years and millions of dollars, Russia doing that to some of the United States people that they captured and tried to do the same thing with. Conclusive evidence was a total failure because no one can be hypnotized against their will. And secondly, they can't be forced to give information or tell anything or say anything they wouldn't ordinarily do. They cannot be hypnotized to assassinate somebody if they wouldn't ordinarily do it. So knowing all of the science that's behind hypnosis, the Catholic Church has actually endorsed hypnotherapy, as have many other religions, because they know it's a natural state that people enter into. One of the main fears is, how do I come out of hypnosis? If you're in session with me, I'll just gently bring you out. And then I'll give you good suggestions you'll feel rested, relaxed, refreshed, and reinvigorated, and have a wonderful day. If anything the hypnotherapist says to you hits your critical factor, you'll come out immediately. Something you don't like, something that makes you feel uncomfortable, something you don't want to do or talk about, you'll come out. You simply wish to come out, you'll come out. Any loud noise will bring you out. I've had a couple of people back in my office, which I faced right out into the parking lot. We had a car siren go off. Lady came out just like that. Or anything that needs your immediate attention. When I was in school, they played a little short video for us. I tried to find it, can't find it. It's not on YouTube anymore. But what it was supposedly a joke that was going around the internet. A young man goes into a hypnotherapist's office and he sits down in a chair. And he's asked the hypnotherapist to hypnotize him. And the elderly hypnotherapist is hypnotizing the young man in the chair. And as the young man is going deeper and deeper, and of course, they show the young man like this, and his eyes are all rolled up into his head, and nothing like what real hypnotism is, right? When you sit comfortably in a chair and you keep your dignity. Well, this guy is just zonked out. All of a sudden, this elderly hypnotherapist clutches his chest, falls to the floor, and dies of a heart attack. And the music and the camera pan onto this young man's face. Dun, dun, dun. And he's like this, out, supposedly forever. Well, that's one of the kind of things that leads to myths and misunderstandings. And hopefully, if any of you are in my office, and I catch my chest and fall on the floor, you'll be up in seconds dialing 911 for me, okay? So anything that needs immediate attention, you will come right out of hypnosis. Okay. So all of this is well and good. But what does it mean to you? With a doctor's prescription or Dr. Lori's recommendation, we can learn to manage and control all types of pain. This is an adjunct to what your medical doctor does. While he's treating you for a certain condition, I can be helping you manage the pain. There's medical and dental hypnoanesthesia. Lori mentioned in her last talk, I get my teeth drilled completely without any anesthetic.
You do?
Oh, all the time. In addition to that, my daughter just left the room, but she could vouch for this. In December, we were on a boat, and the boat almost capsized. She and I, as the boat was rocking violently, conked heads. My eyebrow bone slammed into the back of her head, split it wide open. She jumped up, luckily, put ice in a towel, put it on me, and laid me on the back of the boat, and it was an hour trip back to shore to get me to the hospital. I have a real nasty scar up here. You can all take a look at later. I'm not making this up. I immediately induced hypnosis. I stopped the pain, and I stopped the bleeding.
Self-induce yourself.
Absolutely, immediately. When I got to the emergency room, the doctor and the nurse who were fixing this could not believe, because your face and scalp, as we all know, bleeds buckets. This was wide open. They couldn't believe there was no bleeding. I had no pain. And when they put it back together, I refused any anesthetic and chatted away at them all about hypnotherapy. The nurse who was holding this together while the doctor was closing it said to me, There's a holistic nursing course that I've been thinking about taking that includes hypnotherapy. He said I'm signing up for it tomorrow. This works.
Is it covered?
Unfortunately, not. And it's about what Dr. Lori was talking about. The insurance companies won't pay, so this is self-pay. However, what is happening is, and I'll get into a little bit more about this in a few minutes, what is happening, we know several friends who have kids in medical school right now. The science can't be denied on this. The science is there, carved in stone. They're starting to teach the young doctor students, get a hypnotherapist on staff to make referrals to, as an adjunct to the medical treatment that you receive. It heals mental and emotional issues. It enhances sports, work, and school performance. Are you aware of how many hypnotherapists accompanied all the athletes to Sochi? Tons. A lot of them went. Helps with drug and alcohol addiction. Boy, I wish I knew this 20 years ago.
I was going to say.
This is amazing. Women can give birth fully conscious and aware, taking part in the birth of their child with no pain. Medical and dental, tremendous uses. Fears, phobias, anxieties, sleep issues. We all know smoking cessation and weight loss. I do want to address one of the reasons that it may not have worked long-term for your husband is this. So many people can quit smoking in one session, they don't come back for the other two. And it is a 3-session protocol. The other 2 sessions are to help with the long-term stresses that help cause smoking. What to do when you get nervous or stressed. The other 2 sessions are for that. It's been shown that with 3 sessions, so much more likely to have permanent results. One of the dental issues is, while your dentist is treating you for TMJ, I can help with pain reduction. Bruxism, nighttime tooth grinding, can eliminate it. A lot of people are afraid to go to the dentist because as soon as he sticks his fingers and instruments in your mouth, you begin to gag, can eliminate the gag reflex. Accelerated healing of surgeries and injuries. Uncover the root causes of issues to heal. Healing traumas, 2 things that are really important. Mayo Clinic right now. Everybody's heard of the Mayo Clinic, one of the most prestigious medical facilities in the country. They have an entire division doing surgeries with nothing but hypnoanesthesia. All surgeries.
I mean, right before you go in?
You do therapy for several sessions before. You learn how to induce yourself, which is what I teach you if you come in for pain management. I could teach everybody here in several sessions how you can go to the dentist and never have to get the shots in your mouth and drool on yourself the rest of the day. We all know what that's like, right? Never have that happen again.
So if you're saying your sessions, just by attending the sessions, no matter what type of person you are, it's 100% effective. Like what about if you're like in there and all of a sudden you say, this hurts. I mean, like, is it always extremely 100%? No pain.
If you, like Dr. Lori said, if you are a partner in this with me, and you are invested in it, and you go home and you practice and you do the homework, absolutely. I do not wave a magic wand and suddenly you're pain-free. You have to go home and do the practicing. You do that faithfully, you will induce 20 minutes before your procedure yourself. You will never have to have a shot of Novocaine. First responders, this is another really important one. They're starting to teach this in an experiment in California to paramedics. They're able to go to a scene and the human body can bleed out within 3 minutes. They can get somebody who's bleeding, do an immediate induction, give them suggestions, shut off blood flow at the wound site, and I saw a movie. The blood vessels close up like this until they get the person to the hospital, and that's what I did with my eye. So, in conclusion, I'm just hoping that I answered some questions, that everybody has a little bit different idea of what hypnosis is now. Does anybody have any more questions? Well, I want to thank you so much for coming out today. This was really fun. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. And if you have any more questions, if anything occurs to you, I'm here the rest of the afternoon, or my brochures are on the table out there. Please grab one, give me a call anytime. Thanks again so much for coming.